Welcome students to online classes of mathematics for class 8. In this video we are going to start with the chapter number 8, which is the comparing quantities of NCERT textbook. This is the session number 4 for this particular chapter. Here we are going to do the first 4 question of exercise 8.3. That's why I have written it as part 1. Okay, myself Deepak Gautam, TGT Mathematics in Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. So let's start with the today's class. The chapter comparing quantities in total have 7 subtopics which are listed here, out of which first 5 have been completed in the previous session. In this particular session we will be looking at the compound interest and the application of compound interest formula. Okay, so let's start with our topic. So before coming to the compound interest formula, let's first recall the simple interest that you have already studied in the class 7. Okay, so simple interest is the interest is the extra money paid by the institution like bank or post office on money deposited or kept with them. Okay, so whenever a person deposits some amount of money in bank or in post office, okay, after a particular period a bank or the post office pay them some extra amount in addition to their original kept amount. Okay, so that extra money, okay, that extra money is called the interest. Okay, so interest is also paid by the people when they borrow money from someone. Okay, if a person borrow money from another person, or in case a person is borrowing money from bank in terms of loan, okay, in that case the person will pay some extra money, and that money will be the interest on the loan. Okay, so interest is paid when a person deposit money in the bank. In that case bank pays some amount as the interest to the person, or if someone borrow money from the bank in terms of loan, then that person has to pay some extra money to the bank in terms of interest. Okay, so we have the formula to calculate the simple interest, which you have already studied, which is given as SI, which stands for simple interest, is equals to P into R into T. P into R into T divided by 100. Okay, this is the formula to calculate the simple interest on any amount. Okay, you will be, if you are given the principal amount P, rate of interest T, and rate of interest R, and time period T. Okay, so with that you can easily calculate the simple interest on that amount. Okay, so formula is SI equals to P into R into T divided by 100, where P stands for principal amount, R stands for rate of interest, and T stands for time period. Okay, now let's come to the compound interest. The difference between the two is the compound interest is always calculated on the principal amount, okay, which is taken or borrowed from the bank at the initial time. Okay, while the compound interest is the interest calculated on the amount of the previous year is called the compound interest. Okay, the main thing that you have to understand is the interest paid on the amount of previous year. That means in case of compound interest, the original amount, that is principal amount, will be updated after every year. Okay, so in case of compound interest, the interest is calculated on the amount of previous year, while in case of simple interest it is always paid on the initial amount, while in case of compound interest it will be paid on the amount of previous year. Okay, you will understand it better when we will do the question or the example on this. Okay, so let's understand the difference between the two, simple interest and the compound interest. We'll take an example and we'll try to find the simple interest and compound interest on that amount. Okay, here we'll do this for simple interest, and on this side for compound interest. Let's take the principal amount P is 1000, rate of interest as 10%, and time period as 3 years. Okay, we are taking same for in case of compound interest, that's principal will be 1000, again rate of interest will be 10%, and time period is again 3 years. Okay, same amount is taken for same period of time and the same rate of interest. Here we will calculate the interest when the interest is calculated at the rate of simple interest, and on this side we will calculate the interest when the interest is calculated compound interest in the form of compound interest. Okay, so in both cases we are going to use the simple interest formula. So let's start for the year 1. Here we have to calculate the interest, okay, for 3 years on this principal amount. Here also we'll calculate the interest for 3 years on the principal amount. Okay, let's start for the first year. The formula is SI is equals to P into R into T divided by 100. Okay, so let's put the value. P, that's principal amount, is 1000. Our rate of interest is 10, and since we are calculating it for the only first year, so duration of time will take as 1 year. Okay, divide by 100. So when you solve this 1 0 and the 2 0 will cancel the 2 zeros here. When you multiply the two, you will get the 100, which is the simple interest for first year. Okay, so let's write it here. Simple interest for first year is 100 rupees. Now let's calculate the compound interest for the first year, that is for first year. Again we are going to use the simple interest formula, that is SI equals to P into R into T divided by 100. Okay, that will be, again, principal amount is 1000, rate of interest is 10%, and time is again 1 year, because we are calculating it for the first year only. Okay, divide by 100. So that, again, two zeros from here will be cancel out the 20 here. So when you multiply the 10 into 10, you will get the result as 100. So the interest in case of compound interest for the first year is also 100. Okay, now let's calculate for the next year, that is after 1 year and before the third year. So again the duration time will be 1 year. Okay, so SI for second year will be, again we'll use the same formula, P into R into T by 100. So P here is again 1000, R is 10%, and T again 1 year, because we are calculating it for the after 1 year and before the start of the third year. Okay, so multiply by 100. When you solve this, again these 2 0 will cancel the zeros here. When you multiply the remaining numbers, you will get 100. Okay, so the simple interest for the second year is again 100 rupees. Okay, now in the terms, in case of compound interest, let's again use the same formula, which is simple interest formula. Here, as the definition says, that the interest is calculated on the amount of previous year. Amount is the sum of principal and the compound interest. Okay, so as you can see here, initial amount, principal amount was 1000, and the interest after 1 year is, or interest of 1 year is 100 rupees. So now the principal amount here will become 1100. Okay, that's the difference between the two. In case of simple interest, the principal amount will remain same for entire duration of time, but in case of compound interest, the principal amount will be increasing after every year. Okay, like in this case, the principal for first year is 1000, and for the second year the interest will be add up to this. So in principal now become for the second year 1100. Okay, rate of interest is again 10%, and again time period will be 1 year, because we are calculating for the 1 year only. It is completion of, after completion of 1 year and before the start of third year. Okay, and divide by 100. And when you solve this, these 20 will cancel the 20 here. This 11 into 10 will give you 110. So the compound interest on the same amount for the second year will be 110, while it was 100 in case of simple interest, and in case of compound interest it is 110. Okay, now let's calculate for the third year. In case of simple interest, again we'll use the same formula, P into R into T by 100. That is, principal is again 1000 here, rate of interest is 10%, and time is again 1. That is, we are calculating it after 2 years. Okay, so dividing by 100, again by solving it, the principal will be 10 into 10 will give us interest as 100 rupees. Okay, now in case of compound interest, SI will be, now you can see the total interest after 2 years will become 210 rupees. Okay, 100 plus 110 will be 210, and initial principal was 1000, so the now principal will become 1210 rupees. Okay, rate of interest is again 10%, and time is again 1 year, because we are calculating it for after 2 years. Okay, after completion of 2 years, and divide by 100. So 1 0 will cancel the 0 here, and second 0 will cancel the 0. So this 121 into 1 will be 121. So the, in case of simple interest, the interest for third year also is 100 rupees, and in case of compound interest, the interest for the third year is 121 rupees. Okay, now the total simple interest on this amount for rate of for the given rate of interest and time is 100 plus 100 plus 100, which is 300. Okay, while in case of compound interest, the interest is 100 plus 110 plus 121, so the total is 331 rupees. Okay, this is the compound interest on the same amount or on the same rate of interest for same duration of time. Okay, as you can see, the difference here is this 31 rupees. So in case of compound interest, the borrower always have to pay some extra amount as compared to the simple interest. Okay, if same amount is borrowed at same rate of interest for same duration of time, the person who has borrowed it for the on the simple interest, then the amount paid by him will always be less than the amount paid by the person who has borrowed that amount on compound interest. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. Now let's come to back to here. So we have calculated that in that case the compound interest using a simple interest formula, but we have a separate a unique formula for this compound interest, which is the compound interest formula. It is given as amount, it will directly give you the amount. Okay, like in the case of simple interest, the formula is giving you the only the interest. Okay, while in case of compound interest, this formula will give you the amount, and the amount is the sum of principal and the principal amount and the compound interest. Okay, so amount when interest is compounded annually. So in every question or in every situation, you will be given whether interest is compounded annually or half yearly or quarterly. So if the interest is compounded annually, in that case the formula will be A equals to P bracket 1 plus R divided by 100 bracket close power T. Okay, here this P stands for principal amount, R stands for rate of interest, and T stands for time period, while this A is the amount which is given by the principal amount plus compound interest. Okay, if you wish to calculate the compound interest from here, that will be CI equals to amount minus principal. Okay, the formula to calculate the compound interest is CI equals to amount minus principal amount. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate the compound interest on any given amount on any rate of interest for any given time duration. Okay, this is when the interest is compound annually. Okay, so there will be some cases when the interest will be compounded half yearly or quarterly. In that case, the rate of interest will be divided by 2. Okay, whatever the rate of interest, that will be divided by 2. If the rate of interest is given as 10%, you will divide that by 2 when it says the interest is compounded half yearly. Okay, and the time period will be doubled. Okay, so keep this in mind. If the rate of interest is compound, if the interest is compound annually, half yearly, in that case rate of interest will be divided by 2 and time period will be multiplied by 2. Okay, and then the formula will become this one, that is amount equals to principal bracket start 1 plus R divided by 200. Okay, in this case we had 100. Now if the interest is compounded half yearly, we will have 200 here, and this time will be twice of the time period given, that is 2t. Okay, similar way, if the interest is compounded quarterly, as we know 1 year is equals to 4 quarters. So in this case the rate will be divided by 2 and time will be multiplied by 2. Okay, so the formula will become A equals to, we'll write P here, P into bracket star 1 plus R divided by 400 and time will be multiplied by 4. Okay, so formula will be A equals to P into 1 plus R divided R by 400 and power will be 40. Okay, why we are doing it 2t and 40? Because 1 year is equals to 2 half year. That's why we are multiplying time by 2 and dividing rate by 2. And when the interest is compounded quarterly, we know the 1 year equals to 4 quarter. So the rate will be divided by 2 and the time will be multiplied. Sorry, rate will be divided by 4 and time will be multiplied by 4. So this formula will become, instead of 100 here, this will become 400 and time will be changed to 40. Okay, so these are the formula to calculate the compound interest when interest is compounded annually, half yearly or quarterly. Okay, we also have some application of compound interest formula. So which is, there are various situations in which we could use compound interest formula for calculation of amount in CI, okay, in compound interest. So those, there are various situations in which we could use the compound interest formula for calculation of amount in CI, okay. For example, we have to, if we wish to calculate the increase or the decrease in the population, you can use the compound interest formula. Similarly, growth of bacteria, if the rate of growth is known, okay, you can calculate the growth of bacteria if the rate of growth is given to you. Also, you can calculate the value of an item if its price increases or decreases, okay. So you can use the compound interest formula to calculate the amount in various different situations, okay. You will understand this better when we'll do the question, okay. Let's move to the exercise 8.3. In this session we'll be looking only at the first 4 questions. Remaining question will be covered in the next session, okay. So let's start with the first question of exercise 8.3. First question is, calculate the amount and the compound interest on. We are given total 5 cases, so we will be looking at each one of them one by one. First one is 10,800 for 3 years at 12.5% per annum compounded annually, okay. You will see that in question it has clearly told you that interest is compounded annually. Rate is given per annum and interest is also compounded annually, okay. So both are annum and annually, so both are same thing, okay. So we will not change anything, we just directly use the compound interest formula and to calculate the compound interest. So both here we have to calculate amount as well as the compound interest, okay. So let's start with the question number 1, part A. Here in this case the principal amount P is equals to principal P is equals to 10,800 and time period T is equals to 3 years and rate of interest is 12:1/2%, okay. So rate of interest is given as 12.5% annum and interest is compound annually, so we can directly use the compound interest formula, okay. So we'll use, therefore the formula is A equals to P, inside the bracket we have 1 plus R divided by 100 into T, okay. So you have to notice one main thing here, that if the rate of interest is compounded annually or half yearly, so rate of interest given as annually and compounded annually also, so we don't have to change anything, okay. So we'll directly use the values here. P, that is principal amount, is 10,800, start bracket we have 1 plus rate of interest is 12.5, so we can write this as 12.5, okay, divided by 100 power T here, time here is 3, okay. So that's how you have to write this. Now let's solve this. We have 10,800. If you remove this decimal, okay, if you remove this decimal from here, you will get a 0 here, so this will become 125 divided by 1000, okay. When you solve this, you will get this 125 will give us 8 here, okay. So this will become, assuming 1 here, take LCM, and this whole will become 9/8 power 3, okay. This is by removing the decimal here, you will get 0 here. When you divide 125 by 1000, you will get 1/8, and we have, since 1 plus 1 here, when you solve this after taking LCM, you will get 9/8 power is 3, or we can write this as 10,800 multiplied by, we'll write this 9/8 3 times, 9/8 as the power is 3, okay. Now the cube of 9 is 29, and cube of 8 is 512. Okay, so cube of 9 is 729 and cube of 8 is 512. When you solve this, you will get the result as, first you will multiply these two and divide by 512. You will get the result as 15,377.34. okay, that will be the amount. When you solve this, you will get the amount result as 15,377.34 rupees. Okay, that is the amount. We are also have to calculate, after amount we have to calculate compound interest. Okay, so right now compound interest is given as amount minus principal. Okay, as this formula will give us amount, so the amount is 15,377.34 and the principal is 10,800, and when you subtract the two, you will get the result as 4,577.34 rupees. Okay, so that's the answer. This is your amount and this is your CI, which is compound interest. Okay, that's how we'll find the compound interest and the amount for any given principal. Okay, let's see the part B of question number 1, which is, now the principal is 18,000, time period is 2.5 years, rate of interest is 10% per annum, and interest is also compounded annually. Okay, so here we have the time period 2.5 years. So in this case, what we are going to do is, first we'll calculate the compound interest for the 2 year. After so we'll get an amount after 2 year. On that amount we'll calculate the simple interest for 1.5 year. Okay, let's see this one. The principal amount is given as 18,000. Principal amount is given as 18,000. Let's write it again. Principal P is equals to 18,000 rupees. Rate is R is given as 10% per annum. Okay, and the time is given is T is equals to 2.5 years. Okay, since the time is not in complete years, what we're going to do is, we'll calculate the time. We'll calculate the compound interest for 2 years first, and then the amount which will be after 2 years, on that amount we'll calculate the simple interest for 1.5 years. Okay, so let's start. Now the amount A, will use the compound interest formula. So A will be equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 divided by T. As the rate interest is compounded annually, so we'll use this basic formula. Okay, from here A will be A equals to P, which is 18,000, bracket start 1 plus R here is 10 divided by 100. Okay, as I said, we'll calculate it for 2 years first. Okay, so T will be 2 years. Now let's solve this. This 1 0 will cancel the 0 here, so will remain with 1 by 10. When you solve this, you will get 18,000. Inside the bracket will become 11 by 10. That is by assuming 1 year. Take LCM. LCM will be 10. So this will be 10 plus 1 equals to 11 by 10. Power is 2. Okay, now let's write this. 11 by 10 into 11 by 10. So these 2 0 will cancel the 2 zeros from here. Okay, what remain is 180 into this 11 into 11 will be 121. Okay, when you multiply the two, you will get the result as 21,780 rupees. So this is the amount after 2 years. Okay, now we'll calculate the simple interest for another half year on this amount. Okay, now this will become the principal. Okay, all right, and the SI for this amount. So here in this case the amount will be, principal will be 21,780, because we are calculating it for the remaining half year. Okay, we have calculated the compound interest for the first 2 year using the compound interest formula. For the remaining half year, we'll calculate the interest using simple interest formula on this amount after the 2 year. Okay, so and rate of interest as given is 10, time is 1.5. Okay, divide by 100. We are using the simple interest formula here, so the zeros will be cancelled. When you divide this 2178 by 2, you will get 1089. So this is the interest after the half year on this principal amount. Okay, so now we'll write total CI will be, hence total CI will be first we'll calculate the CI from here. Okay, hence from here amount will be, or CI will be, A minus P. A in this case is 21,780 rupees. P is given as 18,000. So the result will be 3,780. Okay, so this is the interest after 2 year, and this is the interest after half year. Okay, so hence the total CI is equals to this 3,780 plus 1,089. When you add the two, you will get the result as 4,869. Okay, so this is the total compound interest on that amount after 2.5 years. Okay, now we have to calculate the amount also, and amount is equals to principal plus CI. Principal is given in the question is 18,000. CI we have calculated here, which is 4,869. So the result will be 22,869 rupees. That's the answer. Okay, so what we did here is we have calculated the compound interest for the first 2 year. Okay, we got some amount, which is this one, 21,780 rupees. On that amount we have calculated the simple interest for another half year. Okay, which turned out to be this much. Okay, from here we have calculated the CI after 2 year, which is 3,780. So total CI will be 4,869, and the principal is CI plus amount is CI plus principal, which is 20,869. Okay, I hope you understood this question. Now let's move to the part C of the question number 1. That is, in this case the principal amount is 62,500, time is 1.5 year, rate of interest is per annum 8%, but the interest is compounded half yearly. Okay, in this case the interest is compounded half yearly. So what we are going to do is we'll multiply the time by 2 and divide the time by 2, so rate by 2, so rate will become 4% and time will become 3 years. Okay, not 3 year, 3 half years. Okay, so let's write this here. The principal P is 62,500 rupees, while rate is R is equals to 8% per annum. Okay, if you change it to half yearly, it will be 8 by 2%, that is 4% per half yearly. Okay, and time T is equals to 1.5 year. and 1.5 years is equals to 3.5 years. Okay, again you have to calculate the amount and the compound interest. So right now the amount will be equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 into T. Okay, we are using the same formula here. So principal is here is 62,500, bracket start 1 plus R now is 4% by 100 and time is 3. Okay, because 3.5 years. Let's solve this now. We have 62,500. This 4 will give us 1 and 25 here. So this will become 1 by 25. When you solve this, you will get it as 26 by 25 power 3. Okay, or we can write this as 62,500 into 26 by 25, 26 by 25, 26 by 25. We'll write this 3 times. Okay, when you solve this whole thing, this will be, I'm not going to show you the calculation because that will take so much time. But you will do that by yourself. Okay, this will be 70,304 rupees. Okay, so first you have to write the cube of 26, cube of 25, and multiply the cube of 26 by this number and divide this by the cube of 25. You will get the result as, the amount is 70,304 rupees. Okay, so that is the amount after 3.5 years, and that means 1.5 year. So this is the amount. Now you have to calculate the CI, and CI will be equals to amount minus principal. Amount is 70,304 rupees minus amount principal is 62,500. Okay, when you subtract the two, you will get the result as 7,804 rupees as the answer. So this is the amount and this one is the compound interest. Okay, so what we did here is, as in the question given as the interest is compound half yearly, so we have divided the rate by 2 and multiplied the time by 2. Okay, so rate will become 4% and time will become 3.5 years. Okay, now let's move to the part D. Okay, in this case we have principal is 8,000, time is 1 year, rate of interest is 9% per annum, and interest is compounded half yearly. Okay, so we are going to use the formula for the half yearly. Okay, let's use the formula directly now. We have principal P is equals to 8,000, and we have rate of interest R is equals to 9%, and time T is equals to 1.5. Time is, I think, 1 year. Okay, time is 1 year. So we'll use the compound interest formula for half yearly right now. Here A will be equals to P 1 plus R by 200 into 2T. Okay, this is the formula. This is the formula to calculate the amount when the interest is compounded annually. Sorry, half yearly. Okay, not annually. So A will be equals to P, which is 8,000. It's not percent here. Plus 1 into R by 200. R is 9 divided by 200. Time will be twice of T, which is 1 into 2 is 2. Okay, let's create some space first. So this will be, as this 9 cannot be divided by 200, so we'll directly take the LCM by assuming 1. So this will become 8000 into, and this, when you solve this bracket, you will get 209 by 200 power 2, and we can write this as 2 times. Okay, when you solve these two zeros from here will be cancelled by the two zeros here, this another 0 will cancel the 1 0 from here, and this 2 will give us 4 here, another this 20 will give us 10 here and 2 here. Okay, so what we left with is 2 into 209 into 209 divided by 10. Okay, and when you solve this whole, you will get the result as 8736.2. Okay, so that is the principal amount after the 1 year. Okay, now let's calculate the CI. Now CI will be equals to amount minus principal. Amount here is 8736.2 and the principal was 8000. So the CI is 736.2 rupees. Okay, so that's the answer. This is our principal and this is the CI. Okay, not principal, this is amount. Now let's come to the last part of question number 1, which is part E. Question is 10,000 for 1 year at 8% per annum and interest is compounded half yearly. So again we are going to use the same formula, which is for half yearly. Here the principal is 10,000, principal P is 10,000, rate R is equals to 8% per annum, and time is 1 year, while the rate of its interest is compound half yearly. Okay, so right now the amount will be, we'll use the formula for half year when the interest is compound half yearly. Okay, so we'll write P into 1 plus R by 200 and the power will be 2t. Okay, so that will be, principal here is 10,000, 1 plus rate of interest is 8% divided by 200 and power will be twice of t. T here is 1, so that will become power is 2. Okay, which is time period. Okay, so when you solve this 8 will give you here, yes, when you divide this 8 by 200 you will get 1 by 25. Okay, so this will be 10,000 into, after solving this you will get it as 26 by 25 power 2, so we can write this as 2 times. Okay, and this 25 will give us 400 here, and again divided by 25 you will get this as 16. So what we left is 16 into the square of 26 into 26. When you solve this you will get the result as 10,816 rupees. Okay, so that's our amount after 2 year. Okay, and CI will be amount minus principal. Amount is rupees 10,816 minus principal is 10,000 sorry. So the CI is 816 rupees. Okay, so that's our answer. This is our amount and this is our CI after 1 year. Okay, so that's the answer of the question number 1, all 5 parts. Now let's move to the question number 2, which is Kamla borrowed 26,400 from a bank to buy a scooter at the rate of 15% per annum compounded yearly. Okay, what amount she will pay at the end of 2 year and 4 month to clear the loan? So as you can see, we are given some principal amount, which is 26,400. Rate of interest is given as 15% per annum, and interest is also compounded yearly. Okay, annum and yearly means the both are same thing. Okay, So in rate of interest is per annum, and interest is also compounded as yearly or annually. Okay, so time period here is 2 year and 4 month. That means we have 2 complete years, and after this we have 4 month. So what we are going to do is, first we'll calculate the compound interest for the 2 years, and the amount that we get after the 2 year, will calculate the simple interest for 4 month on that amount. Okay, taking that amount as a principal amount. Okay, so let's start the answer number 2. Here the principal P is rupees 26,400. Okay, rate of interest R is equals to 15% per annum. Okay, and the time is here is 2 years and 4 months. Okay, so what we are going to do is, first we will take only this first 2 years, and we'll calculate the compound interest for 2 years for this amount, and after that the amount after the 2 year, on that amount will calculate the simple interest for 4 months. Okay, so this will be done in 2 parts. So let's start. Now the amount will be P into 1 plus R divided by 100 into T. Okay, we are using this formula because the interest is compounded yearly. Okay, and rate of interest also given as yearly, so we'll use the same formula. So from here A will be P, which is 26,400, bracket start, 1 plus R here is 15 divided by 100, T here is 2. Okay, so when you divide this 15 by 100, you will get, dividing them by 5, you will get 3 here and 20 here. Okay, when you divide the 2 by 5, you will get 3 and 20. So after solving this, you will get this as 23 by 20 power 2, or you can write this as it as 2 times. Okay, so that is 26,400 23 by 20 into 23 by 20. Okay, so the 2 zeros from here will cancel the zeros here. This again 2 will give us 132, and this another 2 will give us 66. So what we are left with is 6 into the square of 23 is 529. Okay, again multiplying this 66 by 529, you will get 34,914 rupees. So this is the amount after the 2 year. Okay, now taking this as the amount, principal amount, we'll calculate a simple interest for another 4 months. Okay, so we'll write and CI for 4 months. Okay, that will be P into R into T by 100. So P here in this case will not be this one. Okay, P, that is principal, will be the amount after the 2 year, so that will be 34,914. Rate will be again same, which is 15%, and time will be 4 months. 4 month is, when you change it that 2 years, it will be 4 by 12 divided by 100. Okay, this 4 by 12 will be 1 by 3. This 3 will give us 5 here. Okay, and this 5 will give us 20 here, and after solving the remaining numbers, you will get it as 17,400. This is 1745.7. Okay, so that's the number that you will get after solving this. This is a CSI up for the 4 month. Okay, so now we'll write the total CI and the amount. CI from here will be, from here the CI will be A minus P. In this case amount is 34,914 914, and P here was 26,400. So when you subtract the two, you will get the CI after 2 years is 8,514 rupees. Okay, and CI after 4 months is 1745.7 rupees. Okay, hence total CI is 8,514 plus 1,745.7. When you add the two, you will get the result as 10,259.7, 10,259.7 rupees, and the amount will be principal plus CI. Principal is 26,400 plus CI is 10,259.7. when you add the two, you will get the amount as 659.7 rupees. So that's our amount and this is our CI. Okay, so that's the answer of question number 2. Now let's move to the question number 3. Here we have two girls. First girl is named Fabina. She borrowed 12,500 at 12% per annum for 3 years at simple interest. Okay, there is a girl named Fabina. She has borrowed 12,500 at the rate of interest of 12% for 3 years at the simple rate of interest. Okay, while the another girl named Radha, she borrowed the same amount, that is 12,500 at same time for same time period, that is 3 years, but the rate of interest here is 10%. Okay, also she is taken as the amount as on compound interest. Okay, so you have to calculate who pays more interest and by how much. Okay, so which of the two is paying more interest and by how much. So we'll calculate for the both the girls separately, then we'll see who is paying the more interest and by how much. Okay, so let's start the answer number 3. We'll calculate the first for Fabina. For her, the in principal P is equals to 12,500 rupees. Okay, rate of interest for her is R is 12% per annum. Okay, time T is equals to 3 years. Okay, let's calculate the simple interest as he has taken the amount on the simple interest. Okay, right, so SI in this case will be P into R into T divided by 100. Okay, we have no need to calculate the amount, we are just looking for the interest. Okay, and who is paying more and by how much. So this will P here is 12,500, R is 12, T is 3 divided by 100. Okay, so these 20 will cancel the 2 zeros here, so what we left is 125, and this 12 into 3 is 36, and when you multiply the two, you will get the result as 4,500. Okay, so that's the simple interest, that's the interest will be paid by the Fabina after 3 years. Okay, on that principal amount. Okay, now we'll calculate the interest to be paid by the Radha. Okay, for her the principal P is equals to again 12,500, rate R is again R in this case is 10% per annum, and time is 3 years. Okay, let's calculate the amount for her. Now amount A will be P into 1 plus R divided by 100 into T. So this will be P here is 12,500, 1 plus R is 10% divided by 100 power 3, which is time period. So this 10 will give us, the 10 divided by 100 will give us 1 by 10 here. Okay, so this 1 by 10, when you solve this, will become 11 by 10. So we'll get 1,000, so 12,500 and after solving this bracket you will get 11 by 10. As the power is 3, we'll write this as 3 times. After solving this whole numbers, you will get the result as 16,637.5 rupees. So that is the amount which will be paid by the Radha. Let's calculate the interest that she will pay actually. Okay, so CI paid by her will be amount minus principal. Amount is 16,637.5 minus principal is 12,500. When you subtract the two, you will get the result as 4,137.5 rupees. Okay, so Fabina is paying 4,500 while Radha is paying 4,137.5 rupees. So out of the two, Fabina is paying more, and by how much she is paying, they will write. Hence, the Fabina is paying more interest by, that will be 45,000 minus 4,137.5 will be equals to 362.5 rupees. Okay, so Fabina is paying more interest, which is 362.5 rupees. Okay, so that's the answer of question number 3. Now let's see the question number 4 of exercise 8.3. Question is, I borrowed 12,000 from Jamshed at 6% per annum, simple interest for 2 years. Had I borrowed the sum at 6% annum compound interest, what extra would I have to pay? Okay, so I have borrowed some amount from Jamshed, which is 12,000 at the rate of interest of 6% per annum for simple interest for 2 years. Okay, so further it's asking, had I borrowed this sum again at 6% per annum on the compound interest, what extra amount I have to pay? So we have to calculate the simple interest and the compound interest for the same amount. Okay, and we'll see how much is the difference between the two. Okay, so let's start. Answer number 4. So the principal here is P is equals to 12,000. Rate R here is 6% per annum, and time T is equals to 2 years. So first we will calculate the simple interest and then we'll calculate the compound interest on the same amount. Okay, so let's start. Simple interest SI is equals to P into R into T divided by 100. P here is 12,000, R is 6%, time is 2 years divided by 100. So the 2 zeros here will be cancelled, the 2 zeros from here. So you will get, after multiplying, 1440. Okay, so the interest is paid by me on as a rate of simple rate of interest is 1,440 rupees. Okay, now let's calculate the compound interest. Formula for compound interest is A equals to P into 1 plus R divided by 100 into T. Okay, so P is again 12,000 into 1 plus R is 6% divided by 100 into T. Time here is 2 years. Okay, so let's, when you divide this 6 by 100, you will get 3 by 50. Okay, and when you solve this, you will get 12,000 into this bracket term will result into 53 by 50. As the power is 2, you'll write this 2 times. Okay, when you solve this, you will get the result as 13,400 483.2 rupees. Okay, so from here CI will be, so CI will be A amount minus principal. Amount here is 13,483.2 rupees minus principal is 12,000, so the result is 1,483.2. okay, so the I have to pay more while the amount is, if the amount is taken on compound interest. Okay, so by that amount is, hence the difference of interest, hence the difference of interest is equals to 1483.2 minus 1440, and the result is 43.2. so I have to pay 43.2 rupees extra if the amount is borrowed on compound interest. Okay, so that's the answer of question number 4. So we have done the first 4 question of exercise 8.3. we will do the remaining question in the next session of this exercise. Okay, so that's all for now. Thanks for joining here, everyone.